Why are some businesses always forced to compete on price? They lower their prices, their competitors lower theirs, and eventually nobody is making money. But here's the real problem. It's not that their prices are too high, it's that customers don't see enough reason to pay more. And if your business is constantly competing on price, you may have a positioning problem, because there's always someone willing to be cheaper than you. So if price is your only advantage, you don't actually have an advantage. Think about it. Imagine you own a local coffee shop. You sell a coffee for $5, then another coffee shop opens across the street and sells the same looking coffee for $4. What do? You lower your price to $3.50. Then they lower theirs to 3. And now you're fighting over 50 cents, but there's another coffee shop selling coffee for $7, and people are still buying it. Why? Because they're not selling the same thing. They're selling an experience. And that's the first lesson. You can't escape a price war if customers see your product as a commodity. A commodity is something customers believe they can easily replace. Gas, basic bottled water, generic products. When everything looks the same, price becomes the easiest way to compare. And that's dangerous, because the moment your customer asks, "Who is cheaper?" you've already entered the wrong game. The strongest brands play a different game. They make the comparison harder. Think about Apple. There are smartphones that cost hundreds of dollars less than an iPhone. So why doesn't Apple simply lower its prices? Because Apple isn't trying to be the cheapest phone, it's building value around the product. Design, simplicity, status, ecosystem, trust, customer experience. The customer isn't just comparing a phone, they're comparing everything they believe comes with that phone. That's positioning. And positioning can completely change the conversation. Instead of asking, "Why does this cost more?" the customer starts asking, "Is this worth it?" And that's a much better question for your business. So how do you escape the price war? There are 3 things you can do. First, own a specific problem. Don't try to be the best business for everyone. Be the best solution for someone specific. A generic marketing agency says, "We help businesses with marketing." That's easy to compare. But imagine an agency that says, "We help local restaurants turn Instagram followers into reservations." Now the comparison changes. You're no longer just another marketing agency. You've created a specific position. Second, make your difference visible. Being different isn't enough. Your customers need to understand why you're different. Imagine 2 clothing brands. One says premium quality clothing. The other says business casual clothing designed for men who travel every week. Which one is easier to remember? The second one, because it owns a specific idea. And specific ideas are easier to remember than generic promises. Third, build value around the product. Remember, value isn't just the product itself. It's everything surrounding it. The packaging, the service, the guarantee, the convenience, the expertise, the community, the experience. Think about Starbucks. You can buy coffee almost anywhere, but Starbucks built an environment around the coffee, the store, the customization, the name on the cup, the atmosphere, the routine, the brand. The coffee became part of a bigger experience, and that experience makes the price easier to justify. Now, this doesn't mean you should simply raise your prices. That's another mistake. You can't charge more just because you want to. You have to create a reason, and that reason has to matter to the customer. Here's a simple exercise. Look at your 3 biggest competitors. Write down their prices. Now forget about the prices. Ask yourself, what do we offer that they don't? If your answer is nothing, that's your problem. You need differentiation. Maybe you serve a specific type of customer. Maybe you're faster. Maybe you're easier to work with. Maybe you offer better support. Maybe you specialize in a specific problem. Maybe your experience is completely different. Find something customers can remember. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If customers can't explain why you're different, they will compare you on price. And once you're competing only on price, your margins become the battlefield. The cheapest business might win the sale today, but the business with the strongest positioning can win the customer for years. So stop asking, how can we be cheaper? Start asking, how can we become harder to compare? Because the goal isn't to convince customers that you're cheap. The goal is to convince them that you're worth it. That's how you escape the price war. And that's how you stop being a commodity and start becoming a brand. If you want to learn the marketing strategies behind the world's biggest brands and how to apply them to your own business, subscribe to Brand Up. Every week, we break down real marketing psychology, branding, advertising, and business strategies so you can become a better marketer. I'll see you in the next one.